Black Road Minister of the World, Mr. Mahdi, coming at you live and direct. I also wanted to hit up some of these headlines, man. Some of these headline stories. Let's keep picking on the state of New Jersey today. Essex County. Jail inmates death under investigations. Officials say they don't know if it's a part of the coronavirus. It's probably one that's going to be stamped coronavirus. Story that I'm looking at, and you just go through this. Coronavirus took his devoted mother and caregiver. He died 9 days later in the same hospital. 9 we know is a number of completion. Anytime you see numbers like 9, you know that that's summing up completion. So 949 is another number of completion. Anytime you see 49, they're talking about completion. But, you know, in the Bible, when we talk about numbers of completion, we talk about 12, we talk about 9 as our numbers of completion a lot of times. 7, you'll see attached with death, and you'll also see that as a number of completion as well. But 9 is one of your most common. 0 to 9, your number of completion. All right. Here's the actor, Alan Garfield from Nashville. See how they highlight Nashville in the conversation? See what numbers we get out of Nashville. We've seen enough numbers now that we don't have to put in a gang of stuff. So Nashville is 48. Nashville, 48. Okay, let's keep Nashville because 48 is a key number inside of this as far as some of these stories, because Freemason, another organization that's behind a lot of this, is 48 in reverse full reduction. So Nashville, a show that he was in, is 48. Nashville, 48. I don't know why. Freemason didn't take. Okay. And Freemason is 48. So some of the same reverberations. See, Freemason is also 42. You'll find a lot of African Americans are Freemasons. That's the nigger number. I can say it. Nigger number. So a lot of African Americans are black Freemasons. But Nashville has a tie-in with Freemasonry. Here in New Jersey, this is a Masonic hub. You know, so Governor Phil Murphy probably is a Mason. This is a Masonic hub, so a lot of secrecy, a lot of things go on in New Jersey. And the shame in New Jersey is these supposed to be Masonic brothers, and they treat each other like shit. But, you know, you got a set of Masonic brothers that's getting over, and you go, you know, they decide they're just going to treat everybody else like paupers. That's what they do. But that's how they operate out here, the New Jersey Masons, real low-down Masons. They also highlight the conversation. And you see conversation equals 80. See how conversation equals 80 in single reduction? Go back to, and we can open up this story for a minute. New Jersey actors from New Jersey. So like I say, remember we talked about dies. Anytime we see the word dies, we know what time it is. They highlight certain words because they want to put out the message to their brothers or whoever has backed this sacrifice, that the sacrifice was completed. Nashville, the conversation, and they highlighted conversation. Garfield, a Newark native, he's from right up the road in Newark, was 80 years old. And 80, conversation is 80. So you know he was a sacrifice for this continued agenda. And that's what this is. This is a continued agenda. Probably died of some other issues, but he's in a society, so he's going to do whatever they want him to do. Even at the end, they'll stamp whatever they want to stamp on him. But you see, it was a sacrifice. Conversation is 80. He dies at 80 years old. You know, they you know, like I say, man, it gets old after a while. You don't even have to pay attention. They do it in your face because they know people aren't going to pay attention anyway. They're not going to pay attention. So this is how they get away with it. We got a lot of prisoners being released for some strange reason. A lot of prisoners are going to be released. Remember now, we're in a time of the creation of new super drugs. So best believe with prisoners being released, there's going to be some stuff on the street. So, especially in New York. New York, they let out all the big time dope dealers right at this time. Right around this time, all the big time 80 dope dealers are now loose on the street. And that's because another super drug is possibly going to be released. They'll stop the trade coming in, and they're already starting to cause the drought, meaning no substance is going to be getting in through this. A lot of people right now are depending on substances just to make money. And once the drought starts, you got nothing. So here comes Johnny with the next super drug that is made in America, made cheaply, and probably highly addictive. So definitely have to be watching out for some of this stuff moving forward. Parks are being closed here in New Jersey. The governor made a big decision yesterday to shut down everything. Me and my wife went to the park. People are trying to live, y'all. People are trying to live. And I always tell people, perfect example of our struggles as human beings is watch animals in the wild. And you watch the lions hunt the gazelles, or the tigers, really the lions hunt the gazelles. And you watch the wildlife shows, you see the hunt goes. It's only one time a day. And it's not every day. Remember, they don't have to eat every day. So this hunt goes on, and you know, an unfortunate gazelle or two gazelles get snatched up. And the funny thing about those gazelles, they'll run, they'll take off, they'll be grazing, they'll run, they'll take off. The hunt happens. It's this terrifying moment if you watch the show. It's terror. And then suddenly, after the moment, the gazelles return to living. They just go right back to grazing. Like, oh, well, Johnny's gone. Let's just go back to eating, you know. It'll be another day tomorrow. That's how you have to keep living. And with this coronavirus issue, if God wants you to get it, my belief, if God wants you to get it, you're going to get it. You can use all the precautions in the world. There are people who use precautions on a day-to-day basis and say, well, I'm going to live a certain way, I'm going to eat a certain way, and hopefully I don't get cancer and some of this other stuff that goes around. And people get cancer still. So there are things that are going to happen to us. God chooses when things are going to happen to us. We can take precautions and things still happen. So take your precautions. I say take your precautions. I'm not going to do certain things because they still haven't been proven that this is going to stop anything. So like I said, Phil Murphy put out we need to wear masks. Don't go to the park where you got plants and trees and wildlife that produce oxygen and clean oxygen at this time, because it's spring that we need. So we need our plants. We need our trees. There are going to be allergens in the air that you have to take your precautions for, but we need to keep living. We just can't say, well, fuck it, we're going to die. How the hell I can't be 6 feet away from another person at a park? I mean, it's impossible not to be 6 feet away from a person at a park. I don't have to be all up on somebody at the park. And it's starting to be more like, let's stop them from living, because then you're saying, well, we got proof that this is an airborne virus. You don't have any proof. You have no proof. If that's the case, none of us will be outside. No stores will be open. But they have no proof to prove that anything of that nature is going on. Yet they keep creating scenarios. Only essential businesses can be open. You can't be outside. Just control after control after control to see. It's like Simon says. Simon says don't go outside. Simon says you can only go to these stores. Simon says everybody wear a mask like we're in China. And they continue to play the game, and people just keep following the Simon says routine. And sooner or later, somebody's going to rebel. And you see the rebellion going on now. I don't have on a mask. I'm seeing people go in this store with no mask on. The rebellion is beginning. People are rebelling. And inside of this, that's what you don't want, is rebellion. You don't want people saying, you know what, fuck you. Because you haven't given me any proof. You don't know. Because they don't know. They're just throwing stuff out. And I spoke in the last video about Murphy just basically saying, well, I don't care if a man have something on your face. Something on your face? What are you talking about? What is something on your face going to protect you from? So a lot of BS in the state of New Jersey, closing parks, closing places where, viruses have, healthy places, places that you need. We need to live. We need to continue living there. Don't stop living. You're going to die. You can't stop that. You can prevent it for as long as you can, but sooner or later, God's going to come knocking. All right. So that was a nursing home story. And I hope I come back upon it. And it really got me. So cops closed 44 businesses. The kill code, once again, and these were in Newark. 44 is the kill code, so shutting down people's businesses. These are people that are entrepreneurs in American societies. Newark is an African-American city, and they're just shutting down people's businesses. Yet the liquor store can stay open. So cops closed 44 the kill code. They're shutting them down. They're telling you who can have a business, who can't. They're basically doing this stuff on purpose. They're doing it on purpose. Airport, United drastically cuts Newark airport flights, so now they're controlling in and out of city. My brother-in-law made a joke a long time ago about them building certain things to keep people in cities. That's exactly what we're saying. Control of who gets in, who gets out is probably going to be monitored by if you got that vaccine. If you don't get the vaccine, you can't fly. If you don't get the vaccine, you can't do this. So this using control is about social control. 6 died, 24 infected with coronavirus at New Jersey retirement community. And here's one of these stories about attacking the O's. 6 died, 24 infected. So you can add up 6 and 8 is, you got 8 and 12. That's 12. Perfection right there. You can look at it as 246, or you can look at 624. And we'll look at both of those numbers because that's a date. So 624 can be a date or an upcoming date, 624. So that's what we want to look at, possibly that upcoming date of 624. Inside of New Jersey, something going on in the retirement community. But see how the 24 just came back? 24 really just returned. Remember the Kobe Bryant 24 to start off this whole coronavirus ritual. See if I've seen these 624 on here. I'm gonna add one. Add that. New calculator. Tools. And we don't want date duration. And we'll look at those two numbers. We'll look at 624 first. Nothing, and then we'll look at 246. Right, neither one she gave us anything, but at the same time, look at those numbers. Sometimes just add the numbers together. So 624, like I said, it could be 2 and 4 is 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It could be 14. It'll be 6 plus 2 is 8. Plus 4 is 12, which is a number of completion. So also inside of that. So now we see them 24 cases starting to attack our elderly and wanting to wipe out the older people. The perfect way to do it, using this coronavirus. So definitely check on people that's in some of the nursing homes. If you got people in retirement communities, nursing homes that definitely check on it. All right, and that's one of those stories, the 6 die. And you want to, you can break down why did they give you certain numbers. And you can also do it like this. If you see it that way, 6 D-I-E. 6 dies 24. See how they do it? 6 die 24. right, so 6 died, 24. Pull up sacrifice. And then we'll take 24 as a whole. So they gave us 24. Let's ride with it. I'll take 24. $24 is 49. Go and take us back to completion. 50, America. So a couple of numbers inside the 24, but taking what they give you. Remember that 24 takes us all the way back to where we started with the coronavirus ritual. As far as Kobe, 24, the coming king, 6 die. So we have a lot of numbers. Like I say, just follow the numbers. They can't stop. They can't stop. Follow numbers, follow pictures. Anytime you see pink and black inside of a picture and people pose in a certain way, you already know what's up. Look at this. Newark cop dies from coronavirus. Another example of an African-American died. Newark cop 59. We already know what the number 59 represents. They can't, like I say, they can't help themselves. They just can't. They can't. And you type it in, Negro. Of course, it's 59. That's why he's dead. Negro's also 56. Direct correlation to the coronavirus. They can't help themselves. They got to do it. They got to tell you. And this was the mission all along. Tobert A. Fur. I've never met a black man named Fur a day in my life. Fur. I ain't never met no brother named Fur. F-U-R-R. Fur 63, 27. Fur 45. Fur 24 takes us right back to the 24 with Fur in Jewish reduction. So they can't. Fur 59 and Kabbalah. They, like I said, they can't stop doing what they do. So it's just simple way kind of to go through stories. As far as people that you might know that are passing away, you know, just ask questions. Do they have any pre-existing condition? Who are they hanging around? Just, you know, do a whole, you know, Columbo type of mission to get to the bottom line of what might have happened. Are they dealing with certain people? You know, you got to ask some questions. A trip to ShopRite during coronavirus is a harrowing experience I don't want to repeat. So the question is, why are you going to the grocery store if you're uncomfortable going out during the coronavirus? Because there's no social distancing at a grocery store. Once people get around each other, social distancing is defeated. So this person here now wants to make a reason why it's going to be socialism in America. That's what we're headed for, communistic America. You got American communism going on, lines to get in the store, rationing of items, telling you what stores can be open, what stores can be closed. That's communism. That's a socialist society under the guise of safety. Because if it was safety, they would have testing sites everywhere, which they don't. They still don't have all these testing sites up. They got testing sites on military base with military with guns out in front of American citizens who haven't tested positive for anything, scaring the hell out of people who just going to get a medical test that they can do at the hospital. So a lot of the stuff going on, man. Just, you know, stay abreast, man, because, you know, the games is just going to pick up and increase. And it ain't going to get no better in May. It's not going to get any better. Because this is just part one. We haven't got to the nitty gritty of what the plan and purpose of all this foolishness is about. Mr. Mahdi back.